welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, August 16th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. If you were driving by the Rotary on Neponset Street Monday night, you may have noticed a large police presence. Officers were alerted to an armed robbery that took place during an attempted transaction between a Norwood resident and two Boston residents. For more on the investigation, we go to Chief Brooks.
A local guy tried to sell his cell phone using an app off his current phone, and he arranged with two guys to come down and meet them, and he was going to buy their phone. So he brought cash to the location. It was in a parking lot just off Route 1 that really has nothing to do with the story. And when they realized that he was there and he had the cash, they tried to rob him. In fact, when he resisted, they said they'd kill him if he didn't turn over the money. So he turned over his wallet with a few $100s in it, and then they took off. They were on a yellow moped, two subjects on a yellow moped, and they fled the area. So we got the call, and our officers headed to the area. Now, Officer Brett Baker, who was on his way to another radio call completely unrelated, was driving down Pleasant Street, and he saw these two subjects on a yellow moped. So the sergeant told him to stick with that, and they handled his other call with other units, and he turned around and he engaged this moped in the pursuit. So it's a moped. It's only going 25 to 28 miles an hour, but it continued all the way down Pleasant Street, across Neponset, and then down onto Route 1, and eventually onto Route 1 southbound, and then back up the ramp to Pendergast Circle. Officer McKinney was on the ramp. He was able to position his car in such a way so that the guy driving the moped just stopped and he surrendered. But his passenger jumped off, and his passenger ran into a wooded area that sits between TE Connectivity, which used to be Telco, and the ramp that comes from Route 1 southbound on the Pendergast. So Officer McKinney jumped right out, went right after the guy, went down the ravine in an attempt to catch him. As it turns out, a couple of state police units were in the area. They were also monitoring what we had going on, and they not only stopped and lent a hand, but they had called for a couple of their canine units. So very quickly on the scene, we had a couple of state police canine units, and because of the involvement of the state police and what was going on, and because they were monitoring our channel, one of the state police air wing ships was in the area, and he was very quickly overhead and was able to give kind of a bird's eye view of this ground search that was going on. So after a period of time, the officers who were searching the area with the state police and with the dogs and so forth came upon the second subject. He was taken into custody. So in the end, we arrested two subjects. They're both from Boston, and they're not from around here. One's 18, one's 20. They're charged with unarmed robbery. They were arraigned at the Dedham District Court.
Chief Brooks credited the hard work and quick response by not only the Norwood police officers and Mass State Police, but also the Westwood Police Department, who helped cover a number of calls and assisted with the perimeter setup. Chief would like to remind anyone making an online purchase that they can use the parking lot of the police station for that transaction.
We have a couple of the visitor spots right in our parking lot that are marked for these kinds of transactions. People don't have to tell us that they're there. They can if they want, but they can really just pull in right to those visitor parking spots and do their transaction right in our parking lot with our security cameras watching them. And that, of course, is a deterrent effect. Somebody who's going to come and rob you is probably not going to do it in the parking lot of a police station. And if they do, we should have them on video. So again, residents are welcome to avail themselves of that service that we offer.
Thanks, Chief, for the report. Early Wednesday morning, the fire department's Engine 4 and NA2 were alerted with the police department to a dump truck versus telephone pole accident in the area of 138 Dean Street. Norwood Fire posted the following on Facebook. Companies arrived on scene and found a dump truck with a large diesel fuel leak after striking a pole at Dean Street and Polana Road. Assigned to Engine 4 at that time was firefighter Paul Hogan, who is a hazardous materials technician who also serves on the Department of Fire Services hazmat team. Firefighter Hogan and the rest of Engine 4 were able to control the leak and prevent it from contaminating the surrounding area by utilizing a 35-gallon pop-up contaminant pool and speedy dry. However, due to the volume of diesel fuel, the DEP was contacted to assist with mitigation and removal. Having a hazmat technician is a huge asset to both the fire department and the town for instances such as this. The Norwood Light Department was also contacted and is working to fix the damaged pole. The driver was uninjured. Both Norwood Fire and Police remained on scene while the vehicle was removed. Great work by Firefighter Hogan and the rest of the Fire and Police Department for a quick response to this incident. The Norwood Food Pantry is currently in need of donations and posted this on Facebook. We are critically low and we need your help. This time of year our shelves are bare and we still have a high demand from hungry families. Here are the top most wanted items. Pasta and sauce, canned fruit, white tuna, canned tuna, chowders, vegetable beef, chicken noodle, minestrone, cream of mushroom, chicken, celery, canned meats, beef stew, hash, spam, chili, and crunchy peanut butter. The Norwood Food Pantry is located at 150 Chapel Street in Norwood. The entrance is at the back of the Grace Episcopal Church. They accept donations on Thursday mornings between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m. and Saturday mornings between 8:30 and 11. Stay tuned after this break for an update on Norwood's sidewalk construction and for this week's Living Local.
And welcome back to NutriSlice News. Today we're learning about a new summer meals program going on at the Coakley. Let's go live on the scene with Chris P. Bacon. Thanks, Phil. This is Chris P. Bacon here. I'm live on the scene at the Coakley Middle School, where they're starting the Summer Eats program. This runs from July 1st all the way through August 16th, Monday through Friday. Lunch will be served to all kids and teens, 18 and under. Come on down and grab lunch anytime from 10:30 to 12:30. We're going to be serving meals no matter if it's a hurricane or torrential downpours. Lunch will be served. Back to you in the studio. Thanks, Chris. That looks like a great program that all the kids will love. Make sure you stay dry. Grab a towel. We'll see you later on tonight for your local news.
Welcome back. If you have made your way down Cottage Street, Folan Ave, or Fulton Street recently, you may have noticed a fresh new look on the sidewalks. Earlier this year, town meeting, as part of the annual budget, voted to fund a road resurfacing project. For more, here's DPW Director Mark Ryan.
Hi everyone, Mark Ryan here from the Public Works Department. Talked about the annual resurfacing project in Norwood. This year we're going to be doing over 20 streets, upwards to $1.5 million worth of roadway work, the most we've done in 1 year. I'm standing on Cottage Street, and Cottage Street has new granite curbing, about 1,200 feet of granite curbing, cement concrete sidewalks, about 800 square yards. And the next phase of the project will be they'll mill off the top layer of asphalt and then repave. Similar project is going on Fulton Street, Folan Ave, and just recently we milled the top surface of asphalt on Washington Street going through South Norwood in anticipation of paving. South Norwood will be repaved starting on August 21st. It's probably a 2-day project, so the 21st and 22nd, South Norwood, Washington Street and Dean Street will be resurfaced. So we ask people to take alternate routes that day to avoid delays and detours. So it's an exciting year, a lot of work to be done. The Russo Corporation is a contractor this year, and the quality of work has been very good, and we're looking forward to doing all this work this year. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Keep up the great work. If you wear anything with the Mustang logo on it, chances are it came from Day Street Sports. History and community are deeply rooted into the foundation of one of Norwood's most popular sports apparel stores. Let's find out more in this week's Living Local.
Day Street Sports, which sports the name of its location in Norwood, is a sporting goods and printmaking apparel shop for all things Norwood that has served the Norwood community since the early 70s.
Well, we've been here since 1972. It was founded by my grandfather Orrin and Jerry's father John Chisholm. Started out as a skate shoppening and a hockey shop, and it's expanded into more of a screen printing business and embroidery, along with all sports: baseball, hockey, football, soccer, and lacrosse. That got started. It was just an idea. It was my grandfather had a job when he moved over from Canada after playing hockey, and he met John Chisholm, and they had an idea to open up a shop. It first started out as it was like a part-time thing for them, and it is what it is today.
Just over a decade later, Day Street Sports took the main stage as a premier business for sporting goods in Norwood.
I would say the early 90s, more people that started to work here. It's just, as the town grew, sports grew, custom clothing grew, that's when the business really took off.
One of the major focal points of Day Street Sports' philosophy is customer satisfaction, and with a large group of loyal customers, the team works hard to provide as much service to the town as they can.
I mean, like I said, with the custom apparel and all the sports in town that we deal with, I mean, this community, I mean, we support them, they support us. I mean, they've helped us grow. Anything new that we come out with, you know, if anything that has Norwood on it, I mean, the community is in here buying it. If we post it on Facebook, our website, it's, you know, anything that a customer wants, we try to get for them. It's, I mean, they're a reason that we're still here after 45 years. We're close to the community. We don't want to just have you take something off the rack, sell it just to sell it. We want you to get what you want. We're here to see you walk out the door happy and that you come back. I mean, you know, we've been here for so long that we're attached to the community. We have customers that are loyal to us. We want them to come back. And like I said, things that we don't have in the store, if they want something, we make sure we get it for that customer and we'll carry it. You know, we care about our customers and, you know, in the town, and even if we can't help them, we'll guide them to make sure, you know, they can get what they want.
And with a community like Norwood, Day Street Sports knows they're not where they are today without the help from the local community.
I feel that this community has supported us throughout the years since we've been here since 1972. And then we support this community. We've invested our time into the local community, and they've, you know, they've been loyal to us in return. Everybody that comes in the store, we thank, and then any new customer that comes into the store, we welcome with open arms and hope to continue the success going forward.
Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your local government.
Letter that highlights the work of NCM and the latest happenings. It includes the full episode of Norwood News, recent clips from NCM programs, behind-the-scenes photos, and so much more. NCM works hard to deliver a steady stream of Norwood content, and this newsletter is another way to stay connected to Norwood. To receive the newsletter, just visit www.norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Scroll to the bottom of the page, click the Sign Up for Our Newsletter button, and enter some basic information. You'll then be added to our newsletter mailing list. It's all here on Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back to Norwood News. Kicking off the week in government was the Planning Board on Monday night. The board discussed the departure of Universal Technical Institute, UTI, from its Upland Road campus. Moderna will be leasing the property left behind with hopes to restructure their tax increment financing, or TIF. Town planner Paul Halkiotis explains what this means.
The way they work is, well, the base value of the property before anything happens, how is it assessed and what's the amount it's assessed at, and that's the base value of the property. If a company approaches the town and requests a TIF, they say that they're going to bring X number of jobs and that they'll make X amount of investment into the property that will increase the value of that property. The tax increment financing agreement, the increment is the difference between the base value and after they invest millions of dollars, what's the new value. The tax credit, the reduction in the amount of real estate taxes, is only based on the increment. It's not based on the base value, but if they say they're going to put $50 million into the UTI building and the town negotiates a tax increment financing agreement with them, they will get some percentage off of that $50 million incremental increase.
An informational meeting will be held to discuss the proposed TIF before it ultimately goes to the town meeting floor for a vote.
It was a really good question and
That's
gave me
not
the
unfair.
opportunity to explain it because it's not common knowledge what a TIF is.
Right.
We are going to schedule a meeting before town meeting, invite town meeting members to attend and have a question and answer session. Moderna will explain what they want to do. We did this last time around, and we got about 50 town meeting members to come to the meeting,
Yeah.
and when it came time for a vote at town meeting, we got a unanimous vote. So
And
a
a lot of questions were answered.
we'll do the same approach
More
again.
information is always helpful.
The next planning board meeting will be September 9th. The Trails Advisory Committee met Tuesday night with a full agenda. The board received updates from their subcommittees and an update from Eagle Scout Noah Kearns on his Eagle Scout project. The Trails Advisory Committee will meet again on August 27th. Wednesday afternoon, the Airport Commission held a quick meeting at which the board voted to issue a fixed base operator permit to Boston Executive Helicopters with the understanding that proof of insurance for fueling and hangaring will be provided. The next Airport Commission meeting will take place in the coming weeks. The Community Preservation Committee met Wednesday evening in room 12 of Town Hall to discuss several topics including public hearings, project application schedule, and finance review, which included the Treasurer's update, project expense accounts, and August invoices. The next meeting of the CPC has not been scheduled. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your schools.
The Norwood Circle of Hope Foundation was established in 1998 in memory of Michelle Kennedy, a young Norwood resident who suffered with leukemia. During Michelle's battle, the entire Norwood community, many of whom did not know Michelle, joined together to support her in her time of need, and it is in that spirit the Norwood Circle of Hope Foundation continues. The mission of the foundation is to provide assistance to Norwood residents who are in need due to a catastrophic medical occurrence. The Circle of Hope Foundation aims to alleviate the stress of everyday expenses for Norwood families during their time of need. Over the years, their assistance has covered housing expenses, utilities, food, and various medical expenses. The Circle of Hope relies on referrals and direct requests to find those in need. If you know of a Norwood resident who needs assistance, or if you are a resident who needs some yourself, please call the Norwood Circle of Hope at 781-762-3549. or write to the Norwood Circle of Hope Foundation, P.O. Box 421, Norwood, Massachusetts 02062. To learn more about the Circle of Hope or to get involved, visit norwoodcoh.org.
Welcome back. This week we bring you a story from NHS students about a longtime marathon runner.
Between 1978 and 1997, Norwood resident Mike Sullivan ran 73 marathons.
Best time was in the Boston Peace Marathon. I ran 2 hours, 40 minutes and 32 seconds. Finished 23rd out of a field of 3,000.
And throughout his running career, Sullivan has won his division several times in various races in New York and Boston.
In Boston, in 1990, I won the over 60 division. In New York, in 1985, I won the 50-plus division.
Sullivan is known around town as a legendary long-distance runner, and while he spent most of his 89 years in Norwood, he grew up in Carsevine County, Kerry, Ireland. He immigrated to the United States in his mid-20s.
I moved to Norwood in '73. I started to put on a few pounds, and I decided to run. I used to go to the Norwood High to the track up there, and that's where I started.
Sullivan ran his first marathon at age 48 and never looked back from there. He says the training he did to get ready for a 26-mile race was always intensive.
You have to do some serious mileage. I averaged roughly around 75 miles a week.
Some of those miles included his run home from work.
I never ran to work because I had to work that day, and I didn't want to be too tired. The boss wouldn't like if I had to go for a nap or something like that. But usually I got through work at 4:40. I'd run from Kenmore Square to Norwood, which was 22 miles.
Mike's wife, Teresa, says supporting his running became a family affair, often organizing a greeting party at the finish line.
We were always out supporting him, and all the kids came too. And after the races, they always supplied juice, donuts, and other little things.
And after years of watching Mike run marathons, she felt inspired to write a poem.
I'll just give you a couple of lines. And it said, when Mike Sullivan runs the marathon, he's always ever ready. He gives advice to running friends, now go out nice and steady. For if you don't, you'll surely pay, and then you lose the well upon the 20-mile mark on the famous Heartbreak Hill.
Sullivan's running experience has given him a lot of perspective on being a high-profile athlete. He says patience is a key factor because success rarely comes easy.
Everything is progression. You don't get better overnight. It comes over a period of time, so you have to put in your training. And what you put into it, you get out of it.
And after a lifetime of putting in everything he had, Mike Sullivan has surely secured his legacy as a marathon runner and a Norwood sports legend. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Maggie Federico.
It's around 8 a.m. on Friday, August 16th. For some, it's the end of a work week and the start of the weekend. But for the Norwood football team, the work has just begun. A new era in Mustang football has begun. Under new head coach Manny Lopes, the team has begun day one of training camp. The following is sights and sounds from day one.
Wearing them around town. People want to see this program succeed. I want to see it succeed. These guys want to see it succeed. Let's get our helmets on. We're getting out on the field.
Day out here. Not too hot, not too cold. Gonna get this working. Helmet's nice and tight. You heard it here first.
Hey, two more. Down here. Good work.
Start! Go! Let's go, down and down.
We're going to do a quick water break. We're going to go defensive install, pursuit, offensive install, team takeoff. We got our conditioning stations later on this afternoon, or later on this morning. Bring it in. Everybody. Everybody. All in on three, all in on me. 1, 2, 3. All in!
Thanks, Brian. As reported on Norwood News last week, Bob Griffin has returned to the public school district as the interim principal at the Oldham School. We were able to catch up with Principal Griffin earlier this week.
After all those years at the Callahan, 22 in the classroom and then 26 in the principal's office, I spent my whole life, it seems, at the Callahan School and loved every minute of it. When I first got the call from Dr. Thompson this summer, at first it was like, it was surreal. You want me to come back after 2 years and run a school? And then I started thinking about it, and I still have the energy. I have plenty of energy left. I still love kids. That doesn't change. And I know the bones. I know the bones of the building, and I know most of what I am going to have to need immediately here, because there have been changes. There are always changes. And I have a strong feeling I'm going to truly enjoy the year here. I'm looking forward to the year here, and I think it's going to be fun. I hope it's going to, everything's going to go in the right direction. I'm going to steer the ship, and next June they will again go back to trying to find the principal that they want for the next 15 years or 20 years. But in the meantime, I'm very happy to be here, and everybody around here has been very good to me.
Thanks, Bob. We're so happy to have you back. Whether you are in high school or in college, a summer internship can be a great way to gain practical experience and build a resume. This year, with the help of Town Manager Tony Mizuko, the Town of Norwood has offered a number of summer internships to deserving young adults.
The town's always had summer help positions in a variety of departments to help cover for vacations and cover for other needs in the summer, and we decided to convert some of those over to intern positions this summer in more of a formal intern program. So it was our first shot at it this year. We have a couple of high school interns and a couple of college interns, and it's rare that towns actually have high school interns, but we wanted to make sure we're giving kids at the high school and college kids from Norwood an opportunity to see what the real world is like and get some experience and some sort of on-the-grounds in-depth learning of how government works and how different town functions work, different business functions work, really.
Erin Donnelly, Stephen Allinger, Xavier Cullen, and Anthony Pitaro, all of Norwood, have worked as summer interns in various positions, from environmental sustainability to social media. All 4 interns have found their experience invaluable.
Well, I've learned a lot about municipal government, especially in the DPW, and just kind of how everything works and the processes to go that go into making decisions for the town.
Being here has shown me sort of what it means to be a leader, what it means to be a government official, what it means to interact with the local community, and it's really shown me that the value in public service and the value in community engagement.
Yeah, I've learned about the complexities of town government. I thought when I was like a freshman, I thought it was just a few departments doing a few different things, but now as an incoming freshman in college, I've learned through this job that there are plenty of different people with plenty of different questions, and that you need to be there when they have those questions to give them answers.
Well, I would say that you know, I've definitely learned about some of the complexities of town government, municipal government. It's definitely more complex than I thought going into this. You know, there's a lot of day-to-day things that are being dealt with. There's a lot of moving parts in many different departments.
Thanks for all your hard work over the summer. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.